name's Robert. Those that don't know me, I am the father of the bride. Tradition dictates that I talk to you in a very calm and a very dignified manner before the mayhem of the best man speech from Jack here. So I'd just like to take a moment really to thank you all coming here today to share the marriage of Jenny and Paul. Can you not hear me now? Okay, I'll speak more closely. I think it's all right if I'm like this, maybe. Anyway, so I'd like to thank you all very much for coming along today for this celebration. And thank goodness for the weather. Anyone who was in North Devon yesterday will have known it was appalling. And I think it's going to be appalling tomorrow as well. So we've been really blessed and it's been fantastic. And I could have the hood down on the Bentley, which was even better. So that was absolutely wonderful. So thank you to you, and a welcome to Den and Sue for producing a son willing to take on Jenny. So that's also a big success. It wasn't easy, no. Now, being a bit of an old fogey, I'm not really into social media particularly. But the first indication I had of this relationship of Jenny and Paul was your Facebook site. I think it was Helen that mentioned this to me, that Jenny was in a relationship. So I thought, well, this is different. Jenny keeps her life very private as far as I can see, but certainly, you know, something was on the horizon. And I knew it was really, really serious when Paul, or Paul E, as we tend to call him, Paul E, was brave enough to meet us in a coffee bar in Durham with John and Elspeth. John and Elspeth, do you want to wave over there? So, I think Paul had been up half the night, but he braved the entire family, including Helen's mum and dad, which is a pretty brave thing to do. So I thought, you know, this must be pretty serious. We got to know Paul even better. Don't worry, Jenny, I'm going to talk about you in a minute. We got to know Paul even better when Jenny was completing her studies up in Durham in the final year. And Paul had started his career in the insurance industry.
Woo!
So
AJ Gallagher!
AJ Gallagher, a little free advertisement there. And you know, Helen really grew to love Paul, but we did notice that our food bill at least doubled. And I learnt that cheese never lasted very long in the fridge.
Funny.
Anyway, over to Jenny. As I contemplated this speech, I sort of looked on various websites and took some advice as to what I should talk about. And I thought back to my earliest days with Jenny, which was essentially Whittington Hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning, when this little warm bundle was thrust into my arms. And I wondered what I'd done, and the fact that life would never ever really be the same again. Helen, of course, Helen, my wife, did the lion's share of all the childcare, although I did pride myself in those early years at being very good at nappies. I remember one particular occasion changing Jenny's nappy on the bonnet of a Golf GTI by the side of the road in France. And that was very successfully done. But anyway, my goodness, how she has changed. I think she looks absolutely beautiful this evening, as I'm sure you will all agree. Yeah. Jenny is a very determined young woman, and really from the early days of going to school and subsequently at university at Durham, she really threw herself into her studies in a very single-handed way and really took advantage of both school and university life. And indeed many of her lifelong friends are here today, which is great. I did want to say one thing. I am immensely proud that Jenny got a first-class degree from Durham University, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a hell of an achievement. So well done. Given that I retook my A-levels before I went to university, I think she's got a mother's brains, and thank goodness her mother's looks. Anyway, I'm going to finish now, which is good. As far as I'm concerned, anyway. Looking at, anyway, the way these speeches traditionally end, I'm meant to bestow upon you two some pearls of wisdom, which I am very unqualified to do, to be quite honest. But looking at the way you two love each other and watching you in church, I think you need nothing from me whatsoever. So thank you very much for being such a wonderful daughter and son-in-law. So all that remains for me to do is for you to charge your glasses, please. and host Jenny and Paul.
Jenny and Paul.